Welcome to our Sacred Symmetry series.
Great to be here. Now, just a quick note for anyone maybe jumping in here, if terms like chiastic structures, those literary mirror patterns.
Where ideas reflect around a central point.
Exactly. Or our cross-validation methodology. If those are new, we really do recommend checking out episodes 1 and 2 first. They set the stage.
We've already covered some key principles from 1 Nephi, like the gold standard of divine preparation. In 1 Nephi chapter 3, verse 7, God preparing a way.
Right, and how the visions converge on Christ, and that pattern of God stepping in when things seem, impossible for Nephi.
Exactly. So today we're bringing it all together. We've got some fascinating new AI discoveries about God's pattern of restoration.
And the mission is really to synthesize all these central points we've found, these chiastic centers, into one kind of unified template for how God works.
Let's dive in. Gemini Full, our AI tool, flagged a really sophisticated nested chiastic structure. It spans 1 Nephi chapter 13 all the way through chapter 14. It's quite large.
Okay, nested. So there's a structure within a structure.
Precisely. The outer structure, the A and A sections, basically frame this whole cycle. You see the formation of the great and abominable church in 1 Nephi chapter 13, verses 4 through 9.
And its eventual destruction at the other end in 1 Nephi chapter 14, verses 3, and then 9 through 17.
Correct. But the really compelling part, I think, is the nested structure right inside that. The F, center, and E sections. This reveals the core spiritual idea: restoration.
Okay, walk us through that nested part.
So section F, that's 1 Nephi chapter 13, verses 25 through 28, talks about plain and precious parts being taken away from the book, the Bible.
Right, the loss of truth.
And then the absolute center, the pivot point of this whole nested structure is 1 Nephi chapter 13, verse 29. It states the Gentiles stumble because of those missing plain and precious parts.
So the stumbling isn't just random, it's directly linked to the missing information.
Exactly. It highlights the danger of incomplete truth. And then mirroring that problem, section E, that's verses 39 through 40, shows God's response. Providing other books, new scripture, new revelation, specifically to restore those lost plain and precious parts.
Wow. So the structure itself outlines this problem and solution cycle. Corruption happens, truth is lost, people stumble.
But God's countermove is always restoration through more revelation. It's like an eternal policy baked right into the prophetic structure. It's not just literary flair, it's a statement about how God operates.
That's powerful. Okay, so if restoration is central there, does this theme connect with the other big visions in 1 Nephi, Lehi's dream and Nephi's vision?
Well, Gemini Full actually found another, even broader pattern. This one seems to unify Lehi's vision in 1 Nephi chapter 8 with Nephi's much longer vision spanning chapters 11 through 15.
The whole Tree of Life narrative and its explanation all tied together structurally.
It appears so.
Yeah.
And the fascinating thing is the proposed center of that huge structure covering multiple chapters and visions, it's God's condescension.
Condescension again, we saw that emerge centrally before.
Right. It suggests that these complex visions, though different, are working together, pointing back to the same core divine theme, God reaching down to humanity.
Okay, so let's synthesize. We've got these key centers uncovered across the episodes. How do they fit together?
When you line them up, you see this incredible unified pattern of divine action. First, from episode 2, divine preparation, God prepares the way before he commands.
Then from episode 3, Christ's condescension. God provides the way through his son coming down.
Then, episode 4 showed divine intervention. God steps in directly when our own efforts just aren't enough.
And now today, this new finding. Divine restoration. God reveals and restores truth to guide us when it's been lost or obscured.
See, they're not separate ideas. It's like one interlocking template. Preparation, condescension, intervention, restoration. It shows the consistency, the reliability of how God works.
So this sacred symmetry, it's more than just, elegant writing. It's a practical template.
Absolutely. It's a template for you, for understanding God's hand in your own life. When you face what feels like an impossible task, or need guidance, or feel God's help.
You can recognize these same patterns Nephi saw and structured so carefully.
Precisely. It builds faith in his consistent methods.
Okay, so for homework, maybe start reading 2 Nephi.
Yeah, definitely. And as you read, actively look for these patterns. Especially think about that restoration pattern we just discussed. How might the Book of Mormon itself fit into that pattern?
What plain and precious truths, specifically, was it meant to restore? That's something to really ponder.
We'll actually start exploring the patterns in 2 Nephi next time.
Sounds great. We'll see you then on Sacred Symmetry.